Hello there. I've just got back from an expedition to the north, playing Dropzone Commander, but I managed to acquire quite a few items today, which I'm going to show you now. First of all, from Mr. Pezzapoo, who was acting as my personal chauffeur for the day, kindly gave me this beautiful publication, Warhammer Visions, the Dwarf edition. The only one I would have ever considered buying, but not at £7.50. So that was very nice of him, wasn't it? I'm sure he's had his 5 minutes flicking through it, which is pretty much all you can get out of it. But anyway, I'm sure I'll have countless seconds of enjoyment there. Next up, I traded Mr. Ringo Simpkins a couple of things for a few old carry cases of his and some nice dwarves. So I'll just bring them out one at a time. Got a strange little wizardy looking dude there. Let's zoom in a bit, shall we? I guess we've got a fun little wizardy dwarf. I'm sure I'll find uses for most of these somehow. That one looks like a little wizard as well. Next out, we've got a little guy with a hammer. I believe most of these are the ones that he got more than one of in his huge dwarf pack that he got from someone. So he was quite happy to trade away the excess with the one with the hammer there. I think these are sufficiently old that I've never actually owned any of these models. Even though I used to have a lot of old dwarves, I had very few that were actually this old. This looks like a miner with a hammer. He's got a little candle on the top of his helmet, so I could probably use him as a miner. Another one with a hammer. Very characterful, aren't they, these old dwarves? He is, I have no idea, just a regular little dwarf with a very short beard. He looks more like a gnome almost, doesn't he? With a little hat there. Like a garden gnome. And this is more like a beard. With a spade. Looking at a little piece of gold he's just dug up. He'd make an interesting miner as well, I think. He definitely would, he's got a pickaxe. So yeah, I'm seeing a use for some of these already. Most of them just look like very characterful miners. Oh, this one's on a base, this is fancy. The only ones that I would struggle figuring out what to do with are the ones like this, where they've got a sword, which dwarves aren't really renowned for these days. I'm sure I'll find something to do with those ones though. What else is in here? Oh yes. It's a lovely old plastic witch elf, which I believe used to be attached to the front of a White Dwarf magazine. So there is actually an unpainted Dark Elf army in this house, so it won't go to waste. Now I won't bother showing you the carry cases because they're not very exciting, frankly. One of them is the 3-tiered GW case, and the other one is the previous style of GW case, the really old style where it's just one layer of the kind of knobbly foam. So I can find uses for both of those. I've been keeping things in drawers a lot lately. Now, this arrived with Mr. Simpkins from Tristan or Athelith. So I'm assuming it's for me because it's got my name on it, and it's got a picture of a dwarf on it, so I can only guess it's going to have dwarf in the box. This is the first time I'm opening it, so you're getting my live reaction now. Let's see what it is. Oh. It looks like a painted dwarf. Has he got a shield? Yes. Oh, he's got a little axe in there with him as well for some reason. Let's bring that in for a closer look. That is very nicely painted, isn't it? He is an excellent painter. And the little eyes and everything, that's more than I ever do, typically. Nice little dark beard. I'll have to find a way to fit him in somewhere. Well, I'm very appreciative for all these things. And what more can really be said, other than thank you very much. Oh yeah, one of the things I traded to Ringo was a dwarf cannon. Thinking there's this poor old soul without a cannon to his name. So, upon giving him that, I then discover that he's just bought 4 other dwarf cannons. So, that's going to be interesting. Well, I suppose you can never have too many cannons. Well, that's been all the stuff that I managed to acquire. So, toodaloo.